This is Rebecca with the Learn Flute Podcast, episode 15. Yay!
Learning to play the flute will put you in a good mood for the rest of the day because the flute is the most cool, the most fun, the most beautiful of all instruments in the whole world. We're here to tell you you can do it, and Rebecca will show you how, step by step all along the way. She's a curly-headed blonde with a talent for teaching. Introducing the Learn Flute Podcast. Take it away, Rebecca.
Well, hi, and welcome to the Learn Flute Podcast, where today we'll be exploring yet another exciting subject that goes perfectly along with your flute learning. Now, in case you haven't heard me mention it, I wanted to let you know that there are literally hundreds and hundreds of video tutorials on the LearnFluteOnline.com website just waiting for you to come and join. There's just one gold or intermediate membership that you need, and you can have it all. With that being said, let's get on to the subject for today, which is how and where to store your flute cleaning cloth, and why does it really matter? I had an email sent in yesterday to me from a nice guy named William. He says, after using the cleaning rod and cloth to swab out the inside of the flute, should that damp cloth be placed back in the case? That seems somewhat counterproductive to me. Well, guess what, William? You are exactly right. That cleaning cloth gets all slobbery and wet after a good practice session, and it definitely should not sleep inside your flute case with your flute. Now, the reason it matters so much all has to do with the pads on your flute. They're usually white, occasionally yellow or red, and sit underneath the keys that you're pressing on, if you didn't know where they were. They basically are the reason that you can make any nice sounds at all, because those pads are responsible for sealing off the holes from allowing any air to seep through. Now, I'm not actually sure if all pads are made out of the same material, but whatever it is, it seems to be pretty temperamental, because if there's any puffing or a crack or a rip or a dent in any of them, then your tone will be in a world of hurt. These pads are super ultra sensitive, and any extra moisture in your case is going to get absorbed quickly into them. So because it would be sitting in a closed flute case all night, the moisture just stays there. And this is one of the reasons that we do run our cleaning cloth through our flute after we practice, right? It's to get all the moisture out. So why would we want to put the cloth back in the case all night? It's definitely a backwards thought. When we blow into our flute, think about this. The warm air from our body meets the cool air inside the metal flute. And if you know anything about science, you'll remember that when warm air meets cold air, it basically makes rain, right? And the last thing we want is to let the rain sit on your pads all night. Well, after time, all this extra wetness is going to inflate, and it kind of puffs up the pads. And once you have puffy pads, you can basically say bye-bye to your beautiful tone. Like I said, it is a no-win situation. Now, I've noticed flutes in younger students, especially who might have been taught to clean their flute after playing it. Their first pad or two on their flute will be the ones that have all the puffiness and the cracking and the flaking. And this is because most of the little water driplets, if we can use that word, are up towards the top of the body of the flute from being played for a few minutes. They haven't quite rolled or traveled down the barrel of the flute yet. And because we play our flutes held laterally, horizontally, these students then will put their flutes on their laps horizontally as well, right? If you're sitting down and playing, that is. And sometimes they don't notice and pay attention to the fact that the flute is tipped over on their lap, and those spit drops are now running out of those first holes. And you guessed it, where do they go? Right onto the pads. It is a real problem, folks. So let's get back to the idea that we do need to run a cleaning cloth through our flute barrel before putting it away. And the reason is to capture as much moisture and spit droplets as possible. and to keep it from staying all night in the flute barrel and getting absorbed into the pads. Now I'm going to instruct you to take that same spitty wet cloth and just to simply tie it to the handle of your flute case where it can air out for the rest of the day. Or if you're at home all the time, you can just lay it over your case for the night where it'll dry off by itself. Now if you happen to have a flute case with a zipper pocket, you could even put it there. Just realize that it might stay wet for a little while longer. Now, wet cloths get kind of grody after a while, and they really should be washed. But I'm going to just tell you here to wash your cloth by hand in the sink and let it air dry instead of tossing it in with the bath towels or your other laundry. We especially don't want to put that cloth into the dryer to reinvent itself with all of the lint in there. We have to keep our cloth lint-free. We don't want any of that getting inside the mechanism of our flute. Now, if you spaced out for that last paragraph, you might want to hit the back button and listen to it again because it's pretty important, especially for people like me who might be a little bit of a germaphobe, and all you careful flute players out there who want to keep their instrument in pristine condition, like I hope all of you do. A clean flute is a happy flute, and happy flutes sound really, really good. I'd like to end off today's episode with another awesome testimonial from one of you students of mine. I get a really, really good kick out of reading your questions and comments, and I love to answer all of them. Anyway, this particular comment comes from my YouTube channel, the Learn Flute Online YouTube channel, where this young lady says, quote, "Thank you so much," and then she uses about 7 exclamation marks. "I'm in high school, and I was having trouble in flute class. I was actually thinking about switching classes. Thanks a lot for these video tutorials." And then she ends with several more exclamation marks. Well, you're very welcome, and I hope you come back every week for even more learning. Now, on the YouTube channel, there are just a few little tastes and snippets of some of the videos, mostly on the beginner level. If you're interested in the higher level or even moving on past the beginner level, you'll want to come over to the learnfluteonline.com website and get yourself a membership where you can just go step by step by step by step all the way through learning how to play the flute really, really well. I'm actually in the process of mapping out another great mini course right now that will help you band students quite a bit. If you are a band student listening right now, you might be really interested in this. It may be a game changer for most students who take the course. Now, speaking of mini courses, I don't think I've mentioned here that I even have more mini courses in some really fun areas, such as learning how to play with the correct style for church hymns. I have an Irish music course that I launch every March, and I don't think I even need to say how much fun and catchy that one is. I have a super vibrato course for those who are getting even on a higher level, and a note reading course for those who just want that skill isolated into its own learning section. Now, I'm putting out more and more content each week and each month just for you. So don't forget to come over to the website and join in on the conversation we're having in each learning module as well as the article section. You have to actually have a premium membership to go past the first 5 learning modules, but after that, man, the sky is the limit. I think I saw that I had over 800 videos on there as of last week, and it's only climbing higher all the time. There's a lot to learn, so stick around. And of course, ask me any question you may have about learning to play the flute. I'm pretty sure I can answer it for you. And if you'd like to have your question aired, just head on over to learnfluteonline.com/feedback, and you can vocally ask it to me there. Now, this is episode 15, and we are just getting started. So if you have a question about drippy, dirty flutes or puffy, cracked pads, you can ask or comment on this subject over at learnfluteonline.com/015. That's for episode 15, 015. Or look for it on the bonus page in the menu bar. We are all just as interested as you are.
Thanks for listening today. Remember that this is where people of all ages, such as you, can come, learn, and play the musical instrument flute in an easy-to-follow, organized manner, and in the privacy and comfort of your own home, on your own schedule.